Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Roundup. I'm your host, Jake Friel. To my left, Steve Reichel. And always, in the producer's chair, the great and powerful Ralph Del Vecchio on the ones and twos. Got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to be giving our Super Bowl preview, going to be breaking down, or at least talking about the hate that Eagles fans have for Andy Reid. Unsolicited, in my opinion, but we'll talk about that first. Giving our Super Bowl preview as well as our score predictions, and last but not least, talking about the tragic death of an absolute icon, in my opinion, in Kobe Bryant, with the tragic passing of him, his daughter Gigi, and obviously the 7 others. So, going to be wrapping up with that. So, obviously, first things first, boys, how we doing?
Awesome, work week's done and over. We're getting closer to the Super Bowl. It's been a rough week in a lot of instances for everyone.
A lot of us, yeah.
Just in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if you were a Kobe fan, hater, neutral, whatever. When you it's rough. We all were watching the game. Seeing him pass Kobe's thing. Last thing he puts out, via social media was congratulating King James.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously tips off to that because it's an impressive achievement regardless.
Yeah.
But then coming back to it is, then you see some of the stuff you see on social media afterwards. Ari Shaffir.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone to comedy shows, watching him and Rogan perform and just seeing that. Regardless of my thing is this. When it comes down to it, regardless if you feel some type of way about the situation. Yeah. That's fine and dandy, but if you're not the one out there making a push for what we were talking about, some of the stuff he does outside, if you're not having a problem with everything he does all the time, and then you're just waiting till he passes away to sit there
say something
and try to throw bombs at this dude when he can't throw back at you is absolutely disgusting. Yeah. And I'm just talking about one person that's the comedian Ari Shaffir. There was other journalists who went and took their opportunities to freaking do similar situations. That's not journalism. That's disgusting. That's clickbaiting at its freaking finest, and there's no room for it. We're better than that as people. Yeah. Regardless of the professionalism aspect of it. The humanity aspect of it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll touch on that later on in the show, but obviously leading up to the poll question, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. Check out the doc if you have any aches and pains. Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Poll question is: Eagles fans should root for Andy on Sunday. Agree or disagree?
I mean, I already feel about this. I already said it before. It's agree. Regardless of what people feel like he did or didn't achieve here. I mean, he brought us from the depths of what football was thought should be in this town. Mm-hmm. It was a rough time before Andy came to town. I mean, you can't really give Ray Rhodes too much problems because he did the best with what he had. Yeah. And within, he was a defensive-only coach. That team was really good defensively. Just didn't have anything on the other side of the ball. Mm-hmm. And then Andy came in and brought in the West Coast offense and, all that stuff from San Fran and Green Bay. And it did more than that. It changed the culture of this team. It was important to bring him here as we were breaking in that stadium and all that. It was an important time. Mm-hmm. obviously didn't win the big game, but as we're talking about, like, there's a lot of guys who don't win the big game that are still worthy of our admiration. When with the Sixers, remember when Doug Collins passed away?
Yeah.
Like, should we've not given him our love and respect? He didn't win anything here, but
Right.
this is what I'm talking about. There's some people who come into this town who just embodies who we are and just becomes a Philadelphian, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, we boo you, you earn your battle scars, and that's that.
Yeah.
Some people tend to forget about that. We boo you, but we will cheer you again. We're not
absolutely.
we're not gonna leave you in the doghouse forever.
Right.
Some of them we will. Some of them we will.
But on my side, I have to agree as well. But again, me and Ralph, with our age bracket, I'm 25. Ralph's 23, 24.
Yeah, you didn't get to enjoy it the way we did.
Yeah, we didn't have to deal with as much of a struggle, so we're spoiled in that sense. But it's just the fact you look back, you look back in the past, and it's just I just don't know how Philly fans can be just so like have genuine hate towards Andy. Like, oh, you didn't win anything, or you never did anything here. So you're telling me 5 NFC championships don't mean anything? You're telling me a Super Bowl appearance doesn't mean anything? No, don't get me wrong. He didn't get us the ultimate prize, but again, he brought us arguably the best Eagles football that we've ever had in this city.
I mean, you still have to give it to hate because as of right now, Doug isn't quite there yet. But yeah, you have to say that for his longevity, winning like that, I mean, his record speaks for itself. I mean, I think of you look at coaches. I think who else out there in that era that you really talk about outside of Belichick that you consider elite in that time? And there's maybe 3, and Andy's among those 3. Sean Payton, Andy Reid,
Bill Belichick. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Those are the coaches from the last 20 years who
really.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably Tomlin / Cowher because those Steeler teams you can't deny.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter how much we wanna say they between the two of them they both won a Super Bowl and probably should have each won extra ones.
Right.
Each of them should have probably won 2. So I mean, when you break it down like that, so it's rough. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it is what it is. But getting into it, Super Bowl is tomorrow. 49ers versus Chiefs. If you guys haven't already, make your picks. Go to ATSSportPicks.com. Use promo code A2D. Get yourself 20% off. Give yourself a little walking around money as well as helps us out. So, 49ers versus the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes versus Jimmy Garoppolo. 49ers with arguably one of the best defensive lines in football, if not the best. And this Chiefs offense is just, in my opinion, nobody can stop it, in my opinion. Just with how the 49ers defense, obviously they haven't seen an offense like the Chiefs. So I think that's going to add a little bit of an issue for them as well as going into it. It's just that lack of playoff experience. I think that also hurts them as well. As far as, especially with the Chiefs who have been there before. So that's my big thing.
Yeah, but the Chiefs have also, having a coach like Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they also have veterans on that team like LaShawn McCoy and veterans on the other side of the ball too. So as much as you could say they don't have recent, deep playoff experience, but they have guys there that have been around this league for a while, has been in big games, can kind of. I mean, I guess what you can really see is the way that you break this thing down is how they react after that first quarter.
Yeah.
If obviously we have teams like this who haven't really been in this situation in quite some time. You have to see where it is. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, hell, it's been, it was 53 years or something like that.
I think it was 50, exactly 50.
Yeah, so 50 years on the 100th anniversary of the league. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So, I mean, and then you look at the 49ers, it's been, what, Steve Young's team? I don't even
Yeah.
count the cap year. Don't even give me that. I don't count the cap year.
I don't either.
Because they didn't do anything after that. They became completely
Right.
irrelevant after that.
Mm-hmm.
If they did something else with that, I would have counted that. But it's been some time.
Yeah.
And this is kind of another one of those situations where they kind of come up out of the dust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they had a top 10 pick that year too, if I remember correctly.
I think so. I think you're right.
I don't remember if it was in the top 5, but it was definitely a top 10 pick.
Because they drafted Nick Bosa this year. So.
Yeah. So and he was 3, right?
I think so. Yeah.
But I think that was something they got via trade.
I think, or it
I'm not
was.
sure.
I forget.
They did so many moves
Yeah.
over
Right.
the
They
last few
did.
years.
Yeah. So.
I mean,
But nonetheless.
but yeah, they're still a young team who hasn't really this is kind of a new thing to them.
Mm-hmm.
But you have Shanahan there,
Which helps a lot.
and regardless of what people feel about Kyle, regardless of he's got the lineage.
Yeah.
He's been in these locker rooms for a lot of this stuff, so he has these insights to talk to these guys, and I'm sure they have an open dialogue, like, hey, you guys have anything, like hey, I can help you guys, let me know.
Yeah.
So you have to just sit there and break this all down. So when it comes down to it, the other thing about it is San Francisco has been so tough to put away.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing, but Patrick Mahomes has been unbelievable when it comes down to crunch time.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. So.
And he has one of those kind of it factor things where he can make those throws that it's just like
from anywhere, literally anywhere.
What? But I think the thing that everyone's downplaying is like, oh, well, Jimmy G has only. I'm like, I don't care any passes the guys throw. Like this is what people they're talking to him like he's Trent Dilfer or something. I'm
Right.
like, we're not talking about the same guy here. It's not even the same talent level. What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Trent Dilfer was a certified game manager. Certified.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they don't want to put everything on him because he's never really been in that situation, but he has the luxury that he has a team built around him where they don't have to put everything on his shoulders. But when push comes to shove, he's been making big plays. If he can make you one or two, your splash plays in this game,
Mm-hmm.
I think what it boils down to is if San Francisco can score more than 30 and keep Kansas City under 30.
Yeah.
That's the number.
Mm-hmm.
If they can keep them under 30, San Francisco wins this game. And the other thing, like we've been saying, that defense is that defensive front they're talking about is how they talked about us a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But also they have Richard Sherman on the backside.
And he was an All-Pro this year.
And
so,
all right, so
second team All-Pro.
So
I think,
you're going to take Hill away. So all you have where it boils down to is who's going to cover Kelsey.
Yeah.
How are you going to stop that? So what are you going to put a linebacker with the safety over top? So you have to So receiver 2. Your other guy
Watkins or whoever.
Yeah. They're the ones that are going to win this game for Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, I mean, they got their own tight end and over there now,
George Kittle, yep.
They're everyone keeps talking about the Kittle Kelsey matchup and giving mad disrespect to our boy Zach Ertz over here talking about the 2 best tight ends in the game.
Yeah.
Y'all need to stop with this.
Yeah, but my big thing is too. I think we saw it against Tennessee is where I think I said it a week before. The Kansas City and the Titans matchup was if they can shut down Derrick Henry, then they were going to win. And what happened? Now, again, it's a little bit different with San Francisco because they have 3 different running backs, 3 different styles. So
not just that, it's just like, all right, you take the running game away from them, but you still have,
Jimmy Garoppolo,
a top 10 quarterback. You can argue all you want about it. He's a top 10 quarterback.
Oh, I think he's top 10.
Everyone wants to downplay his performance this year. I'm like, did you see the guy's record last year when he went down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So all these people were just throwing mad shade. It's crazy.
Well, the key to victory, obviously, for the Chiefs is if they can stop the run game, then that's going to be huge. And I think we have yet to see their
Kansas
best
City
defensive
defense
performance.
needs to step up, but You got the honey badger over there, and I still think he's gonna. I think he's gonna make some plays.
I think so too.
I think he's gonna make some plays.
And he's playing some of the best football he's played in a couple of years. So
yeah, because he's actually on a team that can go somewhere. Like that's why he got out of
Arizona and the Texans.
The Texans. Actually, what am I saying? Titans. I'm just talking about the Titans. So I mean, he wanted out of there, and we were trying to get him here, but I still think Rodney McLeod's a very highly underrated safety in this league. We took him from the Rams for a reason. Mm-hmm. Who plays single high anymore?
Yeah.
That dude covers a lot of field.
Yeah. Well, you could say Jim Schwartz, but
yeah, but it's exactly. But I mean, but because no one can do it anymore. That's why they don't do it. He has two guys where he could literally just do it. Mm-hmm. And that's something we're gonna have to get back onto. But he's you have to not downplay what that guy does to that team, especially on the back end.
Yeah.
And especially when you're going to probably be looking at Jimmy Garoppolo having to put the team on his shoulder late in the game to win it. It's going to be interesting. That's a matchup you're definitely going to want to see going into the later end of that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Ralph, you want to do YouTube comments? I got Facebook. All right, cool. Let's see what's going on with the fam on Facebook. Andy Ritter, my dudes, have a great show. This is Andy's weekend. All right. Let's see. Greg Malakovic, what's up, fellas? I disagree. Shocker. Sure, a lot of people are and will root for Andy, but no one has to root for anyone they don't want to. Well, duh.
Well, that's
Greg.
obvious. We're
Thanks,
not in the Super Bowl. That's kind
Thanks,
of
Greg.
obvious.
We're
not in the Super Bowl.
James Wilder also says, can we talk about Ralph's crumb picture that he left in the studio? So if you guys aren't aware, Ralph left a picture in the back of the studio behind our dartboard.
Yep.
Behind the
you guys finally found it. Nice.
Behind the producer desk. Tommy finally found it. I saw it when I was here doing what was it? Not in this very ring. Jesus. Lazy booking the other day, and then it for people at home, just to paint a picture, it's literally a picture of Kawhi Leonard taking his last shot, squatting down in the corner by the Sixers bench, waiting for the quadruple bounce to go in Game 7 against the Raptors. I remember I was walking by playing darts with Brodo, and I'm like, who the fuck put this here?
That's amazing.
Oh, it was awesome.
So you found it first?
I found it. But here's the thing. I found it. I didn't say anything.
Nice.
I was waiting for everyone else to find it. I'm like, that's good.
Good.
I wasn't going to – because I knew as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, fucking Ralphie. Let's see. I'm going to butcher your name. I'm sorry. Mike.
Just abbreviate it.
Chewinski.
Should just abbreviate it, bro.
All hail King Crosby.
Oh, who?
But
who's that now?
Yeah.
Who?
Sidney Crosby.
Oh, we're still talking about him. Is that relevant right now?
Yeah. I don't know. He also says with Brady leaving the AFC.
That's the rumor.
As long as KC keeps their core team, I don't see Andy leaving. And I see them going back a few more times. Yeah, absolutely. As long as you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, and more often than not, with Tom Brady leaving that cryptic tweet of him walking in what I would assume to be Gillette Stadium. But, I don't know where Tom's going to go. I really don't know where Tom's going to go. I have a couple ideas.
I mean, if I'm him, there's two places.
Where?
Chicago and the Chargers. They're ready to win.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look around the league, Miami, no, he wouldn't do that.
No.
He's not that crazy, right? So who else? He's not going to get a Cincinnati. That's not going to happen either, right? So you look around. I mean, it's that or what? Denver is probably the other option.
Well,
those are the three places that A, need a quarterback, and B, would fit with what he can do and what. So you look around. Chicago, that wins in the division this year.
Oh yeah, they needed a couple more weapons, I think, offensively.
Yeah, but you put Tom Brady in that team, like even if they still have Tariq Cohen or not, and they go get a back. They regardless of how you feel about the tight end, they still have Trey Burton there. You know, you might need to go draft one in the second or third round.
Yeah.
They're not that bad defensively. Their problem has been the quarterback position and production from the outside.
Well, here's my
you go put Tom Brady in Chicago, they probably win 12 games.
Yeah, maybe. But here's my hypothetical. I have a hypothetical. So say tomorrow comes, Andy Reid wins his first Super Bowl. 49ers go back home. John Lynch is sitting in his office. His phone rings. Bill Belichick's on the phone.
You're going to trade him back?
I'm just saying.
You're going to trade him back?
I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
saying. Because what do you call it? Because Bill didn't want Jimmy to leave.
I know.
Bill didn't want Jimmy to leave. So
Tom pulled a power move.
yeah. So I mean, and think about it. Tom's been a 49ers fan ever since he was a kid. So going back to play for his childhood team, there's an attraction there.
You know, it'd be funny if he would take like a discount to go there just to frickin'.
Yeah.
You know, just to grab another bowl and.
Oh, he'll
sit there, maybe sit on the bench with Jimmy. Watch Jimmy do the work. He's like, oh, I'm gonna relax this year. What are you guys talking about? I said I was coming back. I didn't say I was starting.
Yeah. The way that team's constructed right now, if they get Tom Brady, I think they win at least 2.
Like I said, if you look at it, and the Chargers are another team. Like you know, they were really close with Phillip Rivers, and you know they're also a team that just kind of needs a piece here and there. But if you're already losing Phillip Rivers, which I already think he's going to be Miami Dolphin point blank period.
You think?
Well, how else would you leave, make this public announcement, and then buy a house in Florida?
Yeah,
I mean, unless you're going to Tampa Bay.
It's also possible.
That is also possible too. I just look at the way it's constructed. I mean, I think Bruce Arians could talk him into it.
Yeah.
They played really well at the end of the stretch last year. So did Miami, but Miami traded away too much stuff to kind of entice.
Yeah, they're a couple years away.
That's why I counted Brady out of the whole Miami situation. Because it just
he's not going to go to a team that's going to rebuild.
Yeah,
because realistically, he has.
But see, that's why I didn't think he would go to Tampa Bay either, just because I didn't think that was kind of like, if you look at it like where it was. That's why I'm saying like it has to be Chicago or the 2 AFC West teams.
Yeah,
you know, the Chargers or Denver.
William Michael Walski also says on Facebook, how does one get on this show? Just DM me, brother. Just DM me. Shoot me a DM. Ralph, what do we have on the YouTube?
So, Bryce says, "What's up, fellas?"
What's up, Bryce?
He also says, "I wish Andy got the job done here. I want him to win."
I think a lot of us did. He probably should have. He probably should have won too.
Well, if you look back at it too, that draft that we were going to take Russell Wilson, and then Seattle traded a couple picks ahead of us. If we draft Russell Wilson, Andy's still here. So,
Andy and Doug.
Yeah.
Or maybe Doug's in Kansas City now.
Yeah, right. So, but what else we have on YouTube?
Eddie Sanchez also says, "Hello, guys. What do you guys think of the Eagles interviewing Press Taylor for OC? I think it's a joke."
Lord.
Can I go vomit now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, the thing is, too, they announced
I told you,
that
man, you have to go out of house on this one. There's no safe. There's no safe, nothing. Like, listen, because not only that, like, as much as I love Doug and you know, all that, whoever's making these personnel decisions, your job's on the line right here. Because, like, if we keep playing this game, we're going to waste Carson's career like we wasted Donnie's.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's as much as a town as Carson is and all that. If you don't put the right coaches in the right place with the right people, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
it's not. What does Press do for any of us?
Yeah,
he didn't show us anything.
No,
this is the same formula that's got us into trouble last year and the year before.
Yeah. Well, they did announce, or at least John Clark posted on Twitter, I think earlier in the week, that the Eagles are expected to.
Yeah, that's why I said it's going to be someone from one of these two coaching staffs. Is that we're gonna pluck someone out of. That's more than my gut feel. That's why,
Yeah.
like everyone, like all the good candidates are going. I'm like, no, that's because they're still coaching.
Yeah. Well, they said they're going to do interviews too after the Super Bowl, most likely, but we'll see. I'm a little as far as Press Taylor goes.
I still would like to see you had the slew of former wide receivers who want to be wide receiver coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Go snag them guys up.
Hines Ward, or I forget the other guy's name.
Was it Galloway?
I think so.
Can we bring in some talent for this coaching staff, please?
Well, no,
Yeah,
and not only that, no, the other one was Antoine Randall too.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
yeah.
that's the one that really intrigues me because people forget that he used to be a quarterback before he came to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the way that works, that is a uniquely different perspective because he has that quarterback's mind no matter what. Mm-hmm. So when you're trying to break it down, like he's going to be able to explain things to those guys that the quarterback is going to be looking for, that they're not just going to know just off of instinct and what it's different. Mm-hmm. If I would have to take a pick out of that's who I would probably go with.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. Plus, you can have that connection with Greg Ward too, so there's that connection. Help him develop a little bit. So. Yeah,
like I say, and then like we talk about sometimes how like you have those connections and they handicap, but sometimes they also play well. Mm-hmm. You have to get the quarterbacks coach right. You have to get everything on those offensive coordinator situations corrected.
Yeah.
As much as we like to bash Schwartz because he's just so stubborn with his scheme and the way he does things. Mm-hmm. The non-value of the linebacker position drives me absolutely bananas.
And that's not like a coaching philosophy either. That's just how this franchise has been for X amount of years.
Trot's the last time we drafted anyone like.
Well, I mean, there was Jordan Hicks, but he couldn't stay healthy here.
Yeah,
but he
stayed healthy last year, didn't he?
He led the league get tackled.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ain't it? Blows my freaking mind.
Well,
and I still think that goes back to this freaking training staff. Mm-hmm. You can't deny that. Like over the last 3 years of this franchise has been the most often injured one.
Yeah. So.
No one has dipped more into free agency and freaking their practice squad more than we have.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a big offseason, obviously, for Howie and just this Eagles team in general.
It's a defining one.
It's huge.
But and it's only the defining one because he needs to hit on the first three. Yeah. He has to hit on the first 3 picks. Mm-hmm. And your free agent ones have to work, and you can't overpay. You can't overpay by a cent because that's how tight you are because of the situations you're going to be. And, like, you're hearing a lot of these hypothetical situations where we could wind up trading Alshon Jeffrey to Cleveland and somehow obtain OBJ. If that happens, the city will freaking turn on its axis.
I will lose my mind. I will be so excited.
That's kind of the consensus. I don't see how it works.
I don't see how it works either.
I don't see how like I see how it works money-wise, but I don't – like, the only way you get at the work is because they just took one of our personnel to be their GM and just be like, yo, hook it up.
Yeah. Well, apparently, like, from what I've heard, Cleveland apparently, like, this is just a rumor. It's nothing confirmed.
Yeah,
from what I've read and from what I've seen, is that Cleveland, obviously, from what we saw this past year, they're a run-first team. And obviously, and we saw Baker struggle with OBJ and Jarvis Landry and a couple of these other receivers.
He just had too many toys.
Yeah. And what do you call it? You saw the previous year how well he did with Jarvis in his rookie season. So,
but see, I see the thing with this. If you get him here, OBJ, with who? I mean, I still think the kid from USC winds up being our offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And he likes to play that whole
air raid offense. Yeah,
so he likes to play that whole thing, and you get that with Deshaun Jackson. If you happen to figure out a way to make that thing happen with Cleveland, get rid of the Alshon contract, which should free up money to make sure you retain Malcolm Jenkins, which is probably going to be the hardest thing because he wants a big pay raise.
Yeah.
And he is on the back
end of his career, yeah.
It's really rough situation. and they put himself in a situation cap-wise, and he, as much as he's gonna say like he can't take a hometown discount this time, he might have to, just so they can restructure it and redo it to give him what he wants otherwise.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to realize like, hey, they put themselves in a situation. I can't do this if I want to stay here.
Well, the thing is too, it's not only Malcolm Jenkins in our secondary that's a free agent. It's obviously Ronald Darby and whoever else. But
Ronald Darby's not going.
I know they're all gone, but Rodney McLeod's a free agent too. So
that's a problem.
So you have to bring one of those two back.
That's a problem. Too.
Obviously, you can't bring them both back. I'd love to have Rodney back. I'd also love to have
they
Malcolm back too,
underestimate him, but I think if you look at this is going to be highly unpopular, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you have to bring one back, it has to be Roddy. He's going to have the longer shelf life and the higher upside moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love Jenks and we talk about this is a business. If he wants to stay on that hard line like that, then yeah, it's a business, and they're gonna have to move on, and we're probably gonna take a safety in the second or third round.
Yeah, unless Grant Delpit's available, which I don't see happening, but we'll see. But that's like you said, that's gonna be the tough decision is whether we hold on to Malcolm or not.
I mean. Also, if some guys elsewhere take some pay cuts,
don't be shocked.
And also depends on how much they spend in free agency too.
Because we
also remember they like to like last year they really stayed thin on free agency and saved it for the re-signings.
Yeah.
So we might see a signing or two draft and then go the undrafted free agent route and then work their way from there.
Yeah, because right now they have $50 million in cap space right now. But I wouldn't be shocked either if Howie just kind of completely reshuffles his team.
Well, no, he's gonna like a lot of the guys that he signed 2 years ago. He's gonna want to pay some for restructures.
Yeah,
like he already got one out of Cox, and that was one of the bigger contracts that he had to get the restructure out of. Mm-hmm. He did it to Jernigan last year.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the year before.
No, I think it was last year. I think you're right.
No, because we cut him and then brought him back.
Yeah, because he had like a back injury.
The injury, yeah.
Then they redid his contract. Yeah.
I'm saying when he initially signed.
Oh, yeah.
And then remember he got injured toward the end of the year. The season started again, and then he got and they restructured it, and then he got hurt and released.
I mean, if we can bring him back again, and
like I believe he can. It's just it's real rough to kind of pin down. But I mean,
I'd give him a cheap contract, but you have to remember too. I'm not high on the guy personally, but you have Malik Jackson also coming back.
Yeah, but you want a rotational guy in there, so you're not sitting there doing these guys who you're
tiring out Fletcher Cox and everyone.
Well, not just tiring, like that. That's the we were talking about last year. Like, where's this pass rush? Where's this pass rush? It's because Fletch was sitting there basically getting it up the middle, and whoever. D2 wasn't getting his job done.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think the Malik Jackson thing was a bigger thing than you think of. But then if you also are able to bring back a guy like Timmy, who you could throw into the rotation, and then every once in a while where you move Brandon inside and you put your freaking Josh Sweat on the outside or whatever.
I like Josh Sweat a lot. But,
yeah.
But again, we'll see. Also on Facebook, Eileen Pompey. What's up, guys? What's up, Eileen? She also wants us to discuss the Brady tweet, which I'm fine with. You saw the Brady tweet, right?
What the
It's like a black and white of him walking into the stadium.
Well, that's why everyone all right. Listen, I think he's done in New England, and it should be. It sucks because he cost them Jimmy Garoppolo at the end. Mm-hmm. So if you're really a Boston fan, you should be absolutely sour how he went about this whole process.
Well, you saw it during the season too. You could tell he was frustrated. You could tell the entire year Tom was frustrated.
Yeah, well, he should also realize he's regressed so much in the last 2 years that he's barely a top 15 quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least this year anyway. He had a real bad year this year.
Well, yeah, and last year wasn't that much better. It was barely a top 10,
mm-hmm.
regardless of where they went.
Mm-hmm. Now, it could be Father Time possibly catching up with Brady, or it might be a change of scenery kind of thing too, though. He might need a change of scenery possibly.
How often does that work?
Yeah, that's true too. That's
What
true,
happened?
too.
What happened when Joe Pa left? When
Oh, jeez.
when
Joe
when Joe
fucking
Montana
Pa.
left. When Joe Montana left after all them
I knew what
injuries
you
and
meant.
all that.
Yeah.
How'd he do in Kansas City again?
Yeah.
Yeah, he left with pins in his hand, right? That's
Yeah.
what I thought, if I remember
Something
correctly.
like that, yeah.
Listen, man.
Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Peyton leave the Colts, but that was a rare.
Yeah, but it was like he freaking circumvented a lot of things and went overseas to extend his career a few more years to get some of those records, get his ring.
Mm-hmm. Also, you had Brock kind of carry you through the playoffs too, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's.
But I mean, Brady tweet. It's just it's like the writing on the wall that you've seen all season long, and it's one of those things. If you're a New England fan, it has to make you sick to your stomach that you
absolutely.
you should probably have parted with him 2 years ago, and Jimmy G would have probably have you there for another 10, 15 years.
Right.
You know, Bill Belichick would probably be like freaking. Like Joe Paterno, freaking like turning like freaking 85, like with a freaking walker sitting there with his grumpy face and his hoodie.
Yeah, right. He ain't moving. But
that's not how it worked out, and we've seen it here. Just things don't exactly work out between player and franchise, and it costs you. It's gonna cost New England a lot.
Yeah,
I think we might see probably 5 years of irrelevancy and maybe Bill Belichick leaving the game.
maybe. I mean, I could see it. They just go back into irrelevancy again.
You have to. That quarterback coach combination is so.
It's something we'll probably never see again.
Yeah, not just that. Like it's so important to get both of them with the same style, same like everything works.
Mm-hmm.
It rarely happens in this sport. It rarely happens.
Yeah.
It's so rare. You know, Bill Walsh. You know, it was lucky enough to have two
Hall of Famers. Yeah.
So it's really it's luck and hard work, man.
Yeah.
That's what it really boils down to. You know, I don't know if you're to see another one. And even Bill Parcells, he tried it again in other places with other quarterbacks, and it just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
No, like he went with the Jets, it didn't work there. He had Vinny Testaverde, right? If I remember correctly.
I think so. Yeah.
And Vinny definitely was better than the average Bear. Wasn't a superstar like how he was hyped out of college, but
Right.
And then it's just he got lucky. He had Sims for one.
Mm-hmm.
And, he backdoored the one with Hostetler.
Yeah.
I mean, that still has to be my favorite one.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because it was just gnarly defense.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking kicker's game.
All right. So,
What we got?
score predictions for the Super Bowl tomorrow. Let's get into it. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I got it.
All right.
32-28, Kansas City.
32-20. Okay. Kind of like a backdoor. Kind of. Okay.
Late score seals it.
Okay. Because I think the over-under, or not the over-under, the money line, I think is like, I forget exactly what it is. I know they have the points is like 50-something. I know it's definitely over like 50-something.
Yeah, I could see it definitely going there.
I'm going to say.
But also you have to worry about it too because like you could have one of those games where it's like, like 24-21 type games where it's just under it.
Yeah, which is also
because you have defense who can play good defense, but they've also given up points this season, so you kind of want to lean that way. It's a big game. They got big weapons. Like you want to see it, but I also think it falls short of it too. Yeah. It goes both ways, but I'm still thinking that Kansas City breaks 30 points. San Francisco has firepower, and they're more than capable of keeping up. That's why I have them teetering on that edge.
Right.
I mean, I could also see 34-31, something like that too.
I'm thinking more like probably like 36. I'm gonna say like 36-30, Kansas City. What do you got, Ralph?
Well, Aline on Facebook says she's got 21-17 KC. She said it won't be a high-scoring game.
Real? Okay.
I don't see the defense is showing up this time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Like I think it really boils down onto what Kansas City offensive line winds up doing with that defensive line. If they're able to kind of keep Patrick as clean as they can for the most part, they'll break 30.
Yeah.
If they don't break 30, then I agree with her in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, at the beginning of the week, it's tough because you don't know. I mean, that 49ers defense is just so good. That front four is so good. You can get out to the quarterback, and Patrick Mahomes hasn't been tested so far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been tested. I mean, they were down 24. They were down 24-0 to the Titans. Scored 28 unanswered points in under 7 minutes, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
They went on to win that game. But I think for Andy's sake, I think this is for all the marbles. I think this is his only shot, his last hurrah to get back to the Super Bowl to win one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Chiefs 33-30.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Thinking like a backdoor?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that.
33-30 Chiefs. And then Patty gets his first, Andy gets his first, and we're chilling. We're good to go.
Especially if Brady leaves the AFC, I could definitely see them going back sometime soon.
You think so?
Because I get where you're coming from. I could see Andy possibly wrapping it up, but I think after he wins a Super Bowl tomorrow, I think he just has that momentum where he's going to be like, all right, I got what I need now.
Watch. We're giving all blowout. We're giving out all blowouts.
That's in the back of my mind too.
And it's gonna be just like how the Super Bowl last year was.
Oh
13
my
to 10.
God, I hope
slow
not.
paced game.
Yeah,
3 and out. 3 and out. 3 and out.
I hope not.
I hope not.
That was awful.
It's too good offenses to be able to do that.
And that's what I think as well.
Like
too,
and as much as I like San Francisco's defense and think they're tough, they've given up points this season.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
So that's why I went high on that because they're good. Yeah, they they can cause turnovers and cause problems and stuff like that. They also get beat.
And also, I just don't see how the Chiefs can't get down early. They can't get down how they were against the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
If you're down 24-0 to the 49ers in that second quarter,
Might as well wrap it up.
yeah, you might as well wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, look what the 49ers did with the Packers, right? They got the Packers into a 17-0 hole, and the Packers couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because now, when you're up 17-0, you can bring different formations to the table and rush this corner back and drop this corner into the zone and then just drop Nick Bosa. You know what I mean? There's different formations you can do when you're up 17-0.
But also, too, like we've seen lapses in their defense this year, too, in the 49ers, like where they've had a couple piss-poor games.
Yeah,
Kansas City ain't been much better.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Yeah.
That's also
As much as we're giving San Francisco's defense crap about giving up points, Kansas City hasn't been writing their checks either.
No.
Well, yeah, they haven't been able to find a defense this year so far for KC.
We talk about it all the time here, like finding your identity. That defense still hasn't found it, and that if I'm a Chiefs fan, that would probably be the biggest thing that I would be scared about is I wouldn't know which defense is showing up.
Yeah, totally
I
agree. You don't know what you're going to get out of that Kansas City defense. Is that Patrick Mahomes is that good to get you out of that grave? You know what I mean? He's that good to get you out of that grave.
Yeah. And you also got to remember to keep him going to his left too, man, because he's just lethal going that way, man.
Yeah, in play action, he is lethal. Eileen also asked us, just curious, did any of you guys play football? Just curious. I did.
Yeah, I didn't play in high school though.
Oh, you didn't play in high school?
Nah, I tore my knee up already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was done.
Would you do that in practice or?
Yeah. I was playing ice hockey in practice. My skate caught a groove, and my knee said, "Oh no."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So
What, you just tear your knee?
Yeah, that was done.
Wow.
Sure did.
That sucks.
No, I never played like organized football. Like when I was real young, when I first moved into the area and I found organized it because I played soccer. They were trying to make me a kicker. I was like, "Frick out of here, man! I ain't trying to play no freaking kicker.
Trying to play,
here, dude. Kicker."
But let's see. Chrome also chimes in, hey, fellas,
What up, Chrome?
nobody should have to root for anyone. However, Andy does deserve the support of our fan base. I completely agree.
Why do we have to sit there and say that we have to? No, listen. This is y'all need to stop with this. We're not sitting there saying that every time Andy Reid's name comes up, it's sitting there, go Andy. We're not sitting there saying that. In this situation, the Super Bowl, you're allowed to root for him. It's okay, I promise you.
Right.
The sky won't fall. The sports gods won't come and shun you. Like, geez, it's not this big old thing, man. You know,
I know what you mean.
It's crazy. You know, with all those stuff in media, like that's like the stuff with Stephen A. Smith and Joe Rogan's freaking hilarious.
Oh,
too.
yeah. I've been paying attention to that. But Tom also says to the poll, I agree. Appreciate it, Tommy.
What up, Tommy?
What up, yo?
Yeah, let's just get into it. Obviously,
It's time.
almost going on a week. I've been dreading this segment all week.
You've been dreading it.
I
mean, it's rough, man. Like, here's the thing, man.
I'll let you go first.
we gotta pay our respects to the man over there,
Kobe
Mr.
Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. You know, me and Jakey over here were talking about it off. You know, before the show started. It's rough, man. You know, watching how that thing played out. You know, the aftermath of it.
Mm-hmm.
The impact that he has on it, and it's not just the sports side of it, you know, and it's not just, you know, the stuff that he did with coaching and his kid and all that. Like, there was other stuff that he did outside of basketball that just, you know, it was amazing. Like, you'd even see it like in some of the tweets you see from some of the players that play with him, that like he's like the greatest freaking magician of all time. You know, trying to play off like he's an a-hole, but he's probably, you know, one of the most nicest given guys that you ever meet. And from what I've seen from people, it's more than fairly true. You know, there's other things that he was involved with. You know, as I was telling him, you know, a lot of people didn't know, like his media company owns the UFC. He technically owns shares of the UFC. So does, you know, everyone that's involved with that. So, I mean, you know, you would see him talking at the UFC Fighter Summit and all that, you know, talking to some of these athletes about brain management and stuff like that. So, like, he did a whole lot more than basketball. He did a whole lot more than just being a father. You know, he gave back in so many different ways. It's just, you know, like you were saying, you're dreading it. Like, yo, like twice in the last, like, 24 hours, I'm sitting there driving up the highway and you see the billboard. It's just... It's rough, man. Like, I wouldn't imagine how that is. And, you know, like, not just that, you imagine when that freaking plane was going down, having to freaking hold your kid knowing what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. I can't, dude.
Yeah. Well, it tore me up, too, with the whole thing, especially with his daughter, and you had Gigi's two other friends that were in there, as well as the families that were affected. It plain and simple, it's just awful. From top to bottom. I remember when I found out about it, I was at the mall with my girlfriend on Sunday. I see, not a tweet, I see a retweet from Ian Rappaport saying, oh, no.
I seen it from TMZ. I thought it was a joke at first.
And then I clicked on what he retweeted, and then I'd see TMZ, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. I click on that. I'm like, this has to be fake. And then looking just through the article, I'm just like, okay, this, and that. And then I go on my news feed, I search it up, Kobe Bryant death or whatever. No one's reporting it. And then I keep refreshing. Then I just see it start to just flood in. And I know, what do you call it? I do content, and I know Brodo talked about it earlier on The Fix earlier this week, is that we had a conversation in our content group, is that we wanted to make sure that everything was official. Make sure it was. Can you turn your thing down, Steve? But it's just. I know for me, I was a mess for
a few days.
I was a mess for like 2 days. I know Ralphie was hurting.
Of course, man.
Well, aside from the fact
that
that
me bleeds purple.
Fan,
what are you doing?
Well, aside from being a Lakers fan, but it's one of those things.
It's a human being thing, man. It's a human being thing. It's
Yeah.
rough.
And if you don't show remorse or didn't show any emotion towards that, then you're not a human being. But with me, Ralph and Brodo being some of the younger guys here at A2D, it's one of those things where we grew up. Obviously, we didn't see Jordan like Tommy, Greg, and some of the older guys at A2D did. You guys saw Michael Jordan in his prime, and you saw some of his best years. When me and Ralph and Ryan were coming up, it was just he was there, but it was like it was the latter part of his career. He wasn't as good as he used to be. But growing up, we had Kobe. That's what we had. He was the closest thing that we had to Michael Jordan. And me personally, I know it's the same for Ralph. He's the reason I started watching basketball. Kobe was the complete and utter reason I started watching basketball. And it's just one of those things. Like it's one of those rare things too that none of us met the guy, none of us knew him, but I feel like when I'm talking about it and like going back to how I felt just a couple days ago, it's like I feel like I lost like a real close family member, like someone in my immediate family. It just it's tough, and it's something that's gonna be something that sticks with me for the rest of my life. Just looking back at.
And you gotta think of those people in LA, like you know, like some of them. It's like when you think of Kobe Bryant, the other person you think of outside of Shaquille O'Neal is what, like Derek Fisher, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, good old Derek Fisher. Then you have, Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom and Andrew Bynum was on that back-to-back winning team, and Brian Shaw was there at some point of Kobe's career.
And I think the real person you got to watch out for, like as far as those guys that he's connected to, is Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like his struggles with his stuff and his recent handful of years or so, like it's rough, man.
Yeah,
like to see where some of these places could take these people, like. Like the whole thing with like Delonte West, I think that whole situation's crazy.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like sitting there saying like Kobe's this great thing. I'm like, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Delonte get to that point? Like he's this great friend to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as I want to sit there and say like he's doing the right thing now because he's finding out about it, but like you want to praise him off like he's doing this great thing. I'm like, well, they all let him get to that point.
Yeah.
At the same time. I mean, we can only do so much as friends.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but like for him to be like, "Oh, I didn't know about this," you really weren't friends. It's kind of almost like it's a pity thing at that point in time.
Well, I found it a little peculiar too. Like I obviously like Shaq and Kobe had their differences and they reconciled.
Yeah, but like he's probably gonna be the one who's probably gonna be the biggest mess that everyone thinks is gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm. Well, Shaq has had a tough year too because he lost his dad. Or it was his mom. It was one of the two. But he lost a parent. He lost his sister a couple weeks ago. And now he lost one of his best friends that he had during his career. So, and it's one of those things, too, and Kobe said it perfectly on TNT when they did their tribute, is that the name Shaq and Kobe is going to be synonymous with basketball. Just that duo is going to be synonymous for all time. Like, you're never going to see in my opinion, a more dynamic duo than those two in sports ever again.
I don't know, man. If Ben and Joel can work this thing out, man, you never know.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't you just thought you're chuckling over there, man? You know it's possible. You know it's way more than possible.
Trade Joel for D'Angelo Russell.
Jesus Christ.
If I hear another one of those freaking comments, I swear to God, I'm going to start
man.
strangling some of these idiots. Like, listen, I said it once, I'll say it again. Ben's a baby. He's a baby.
He's
He hasn't
23.
put his game together yet.
And he had what do you call it? He had a good game last night. He had a real good game
That's
last
why
night.
I keep telling y'all, like, y'all need to relax with this. Like y'all, you think Jordan and Pippen worked it out in 2-3 seasons?
No.
No. It didn't even take Kobe and Shaq. It took them more than a handful of seasons to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were literally on different levels when it comes to it. Kobe was way more. It was a polished piece when he got there with him than Ben is now.
Yeah.
And Shaq was way. He was what? It was almost like 6 years in the league at that point in time. By the time he
Yeah,
came to
he
LA,
was 26 when he came to
So
LA.
about 5 years.
Yeah.
Because I think he was about 21 or something like that when he made it in. I remember when he broke out in LSU, man, that was crazy.
Who,
Shaq?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did a Blue Chip? Remember the Blue Chips movie?
Oh yeah.
With Nick Nolte and Penny Hardaway.
Just imagine what they could have done in Orlando if he stayed.
Yeah.
Imagine if he could have stayed healthy. Yeah, Penny.
You want to talk about a duo, man?
Yeah.
Both of them at the
Because
same
they
time.
also had Scotty Styles too.
Yeah, they did.
They had an official handler right there.
They had a good team. It's just injuries just plagued them.
Injuries and just bad performances at the worst time.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what killed that team.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about that. And then, like, the stuff that Kobe does, like, people are, like, we talk about him as a scorer, but, like, his defense was just so underrated, too.
Yeah, 9 times all defense.
Yeah.
9 times first team all NBA for defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to all the NBA assistant coaches for snubbing freaking Matisse, too.
Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah, that's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
He's freaking top 10 in freaking blocks and freaking steals among rookies and what? Come on, get out of here. Well, no, I mean that sets a really bad precedent for the NBA if you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
When you break it down, it's just about scoring anymore.
That's what the game's.
It's really is. It's about putting up stats and scoring. It doesn't matter what the actual.
Well, you can thank Steph Curry for that because ever since he started the whole 3-point brigade, it's just been that's what the NBA.
Okay, so
into.
like you found the guy that wasn't just he was more than proficient at it. Okay, so is everyone else still doing that? Because the only one that really does it like that is like Harden and Westbrook.
As far as like scoring wise,
as far as like just sitting there just taking shots, just trying to fucking pad their stats, yo.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's why he was laughing at me when I said they got to get by the Rockets.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust it when it comes to the Rockets, because both Westbrook and Harden they need the ball.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same situation. Like, listen, we've seen what Ben Simmons has done with this team while Joel Embiid has been out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to sit there to say you still can't let him do that with Joe on the floor? Why? Because because he's a monster. You need to feed him. Ben's gonna miss some of those shots.
Oh, absolutely.
So keep him right there.
I hear you.
What the hell? Like, let Ben run the floor, and then when you need Joe to sit there and put some in because the shots ain't falling or whatever, that's what Joe's there for.
Yeah.
That's why you have a 7-foot center who could do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do y'all remember, like, Shaq used to make his bread and butter just sitting there camping out under the net? Just because
it's not. Yeah.
But just because the game's different and the way the center position is played differently, it doesn't mean you still can't play that basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You have guys that the way this sport has been set up for the longest time, you should be dominating right now.
Yeah. I agree. No, you're right. I completely agree.
But getting back to the Kobe stuff, man. It's I mean, like, the thing is, like, what is your lasting memory of him?
For who?
Just for in general. Like, what's the thing that when you see Kobe Bryant, what's the thing that just stands out? Moment, game, whatever. I mean, to me, it's the 81 points, regardless of all the other. It's because, I mean, during that 2-year run, I was just thinking, I was like, yo, if he keeps doing this, man, he's going to shatter Wilt's record. It's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and the way he started some of those games, like where he would drop, like, damn near 40 points in the first half, it's like you start scratching your head, be like, yo, is anyone ever going to stop this guy? You know what I mean? 2-time finals MVP. I mean, he people are getting upset that people wanted to change the NBA logo to his likeness because of Michael, how Michael would feel about that. Mm-hmm. I know Michael's this whole self-absorbed guy, but how would he feel considering he has more championships? Why would he care?
Yeah.
His brand is 10 times bigger than Kobe's brand ever was. Why would he care?
Yeah.
Like, hello, Kobe's shoe was off of your brand. Why would you care? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think he would mind. Like, hello.
Yeah. and I know earlier in the week, I know we're coming up against it, but I know after his passing, they were talking about retiring Kobe's number throughout the NBA. And my issue with that is...
Well, no, because you could pick 8 or 24.
Well, I'm saying that, and if you're going to retire Kobe's number, you're going to have people saying you're going to have to retire Jordan's number. You're going to have to retire a bunch of these other guys' numbers.
But Jordan didn't. If anything, who's the guy from the Celtics that had that heart attack in the 90s? What the hell's his name? Forget his name all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
But he wore like 35s. That's like sitting there, just it's. You do it when there's something like this where there's precedent for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jordan, it would be just because of he's greatness. That's different.
Right.
Like you're doing this because Kobe was great, but he was stolen from us.
Mm-hmm.
He still owed us another 20 years.
Right.
And
20, 30 years, yeah. I hear you.
You know what I mean? So it's like one of these things where it's like, I guess us as humans, our way of like making sure that he's always remembered in some type of way.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You have anything before we wrap up?
No, I'm good, man. Just keep doing this thing, getting ready to start.
MMA show coming soon.
Yes, sir. That's what we're working towards.
So it should be exciting I know people have been clamoring for that for a while on A2D. So.
Well, like you said, man, I've already showed you what we got.
Yep.
Waiting to get everything locked and loaded. We got some guests coming on, so
it's gonna be a good time.
we're gonna do a little bit more than just talk.
All right, guys, that's been this week's edition of the Weekly Roundup. I'm your host, Jake Friel, Steve Rochelle, Ralph Del Vecchio. Appreciate you as always. Before we go, we are brought to you by ATS Sport Pick. Use promo code A2D. Helps us out as well as gives you a little walking around money as well. And we are also brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. If you have any aches and pains, call Dr. Paul Vidal, Burlington, Princeton locations. And as always, I'll check you guys on another episode of the Weekly Roundup. Later, guys.